Hi, Tanya from Created Health, Nutrition and Fitness. I was looking at some research which I thought was quite interesting. The paper, if you are interested in reading it for yourself, it's called Rethinking Daily Step Count. Is 7,000 steps the new 10,000 steps? So have you heard about walking 10,000 steps per day? Do you know where it originated from? This is quite interesting. So this benchmark of walking 10,000 steps per day actually originated back in 1965 in Japan. It was by a Yamason Cook was the person's name, who invented a device and it was for a marketing campaign for the device that he created, which was a pedometer, and the device was called Manko-Kie, MANPO-KIE, which means the art and science of step counting. And if you translate it, it literally translates to 10,000 step meter. And so this is where a lot of this science and research has evolved around the advice of walking 10,000 steps. Now, we know walking's one of the most simplest, easiest, most accessible forms of physical activity and has a clear and consistent association with having a positive outcome for health concerns. So this particular paper, Rethinking Daily Step Count, is 7,000 steps, the new 10,000 steps. This is a meta-analysis that was done, and the meta-analysis was done of 31 cohort studies, and it involved nearly 300,000 adults, men and women, all ages, with or without known health concerns. And they were people that lived in the UK, USA, and in Japan. And they had their steps monitored using a pedometer. So this is where the research was done. This is how the research was done. And then they did a analysis, and they looked at the dose response analysis. And they discovered that a higher daily step count was associated with a lower risk for cancer, type 2 diabetes, and depression symptoms. But they found that if you did even more, if you did up to 12,000 steps per day, those were the main health outcomes that were shown for people that did 12,000 steps per day. So it was reduced the risk of cancer, type 2 diabetes, and depression symptoms. So then when we also looked at the dose response of the analysis, we found that that all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease, cardiovascular mortality, cancer mortality, dementia, and diabetes, as well as, I think I said diabetes, as well as depression symptoms. Most of these health benefits were actually achieved with people doing between 4,800 and 8,800 steps per day. So that was quite interesting that it wasn't even the 10,000 steps, but it was the 4,800 and 8,800 that they found those were the health responses that were achieved. And achieving 7,000 steps per day captured the majority of the benefits for most of the outcomes. So the evidence supports a lower target is actually more achievable for most adults, and it still offers substantial health benefits. However, step counts do not capture other forms of physical activity such as cycling, swimming, strength training, all of those sorts of things, which also contribute to improved health outcomes. So that was interesting. But the evidence consistently supported a dose-response relationship between the number of steps per day and the magnitude of your improvement in your major health outcomes. So the other good news about this is that step count is really easy to monitor due to having such a wide variety of wearable devices that are available nowadays. I always wear my Apple Watch, and I can do that on my Apple Watch. If you have a phone, you can do it on your phone as well. There's pedometers, there's all different types. So it's really, the good news is it's easy to keep track of the number of steps that you are doing, to be able to see how many you are able to achieve throughout the day. But an important note to remember is that walking should be considered complementary to broader physical activities rather than replacing activities, because walking doesn't represent all your physical activity. So even though walking does have all these really great health benefits, you need the other physical activities in order to get even greater health responses from that. But I suppose in regards to this meta-analysis of rethinking your daily step count, is 7,000 steps the new 10,000 steps? The bottom line was approximately 7,000 steps per day seemed practical, so it was achievable for most adults. Evidence-based target for most adults. So they found that most of the adults that they looked at in this meta-analysis were able to achieve it. So it was practical and it was achievable for most adults, which is good news, because you want something that is sustainable and achievable in order to be able to accomplish it. But it also, the health benefits of walking 7,000 steps encompasses the majority of the gains for your health and for your well-being. So hopefully this has encouraged you to put on your runners, lace them up, and get out there and go for a walk. Also in the research, they did look at time as well, and they based it on whether you were doing like really fast steps, like a fast pace was 120,000 steps per minute. And then they looked at a slow pace of 80 steps per minute and a moderate rate of 100 steps per minute. So they did look at that, and in regards to how fast or how slow then depended on how long it took you as far as time that was involved. But they did find the majority of people, it was 70 minutes of moderate walking per day. So if you are a slow walker, you might need to do a little bit more, and if you are a fast walker, you may not need to spend as much time. So it is quite an interesting research around that. So bottom line is, we could get away with doing 7,000 steps and still see great health benefits from that. I'm Tanya from Created Health, Nutrition and Fitness. Now remember to like, so give me a thumbs up, and subscribe so that whenever I post a new video, you are the first to be told that it is on and it is available. And until then, remember, your health is your wealth.